The universe is always talking to you. Sometimes it's a whisper. This Pisces lunation is pretty cool and very rare. The moon is in mutual reception to Jupiter. So there is such a thing as magic. We'll be talking about how and why that is true as we go through your sign. What is it in your life that you are ready to commit to? Don't think it has to be you're going to save the world. What if your purpose was something small, sweet, wonderful, and magical? Also a moon that's tied into a new life direction. New moon, new beginning will activate a lot of Piscean people, famous Piscean people, and very famous Piscean countries.
Lunatic astrology.
March the 18th brings us one of the most magical moons of 2026. This Pisces lunation is pretty cool and very rare, hooked up to the asteroid Atlantis. It's connected to a powerful star in the tail of the swan. It opens up a miniature grand trine, which is always super fortunate. Kind of means that maybe something mystical might be about to happen in each of our lives. And we have a Sabian symbol that's all about the light. And when you add the asteroid Juno to the mix, there is a big question being asked. What is it in your life that you are ready to commit to? Whether it's a relationship, a situation, a job, commitment is a part of this story. And with Jupiter exalted in direct motion in Pisces, Jupiter, the Lord of the lunation, we can expect something extremely, extremely positive to emerge in the weeks and even months after this incredibly powerful and very positive moon. Let's get started. Let's break it down for your sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm looking forward to doing that. Take care and let's get rolling. Now, this is going to depend on where your Pisces chart whole sign house is sitting. And so for some of you, it may be about your relationships, your home, your career, your children, your romantic life, your money. So we're going to break it down today so you know where to focus on the magic. And when I say magic, I mean magic. There is such a thing as magic. We'll be talking about how and why that is true as we go through your sign. While I also could bring your attention to another story because this is happening as a lunation on the 18th of March, setting in motion a new beginning. Well, at the same time on the 17th of March, Mars also in Pisces, enabled his heliacal rise, where he's visible in our sky from underneath the beams of the sun. And that means it's also a moon that's tied into a new life direction, something that wants to emerge in your life, not just after this new moon in the weeks that follow, but perhaps even over the course of 2 years. So probably a few days before you get this video, you will already have access to my Mars Rising in Pisces video. And I'll put a link to that video in the description box below and at the end of this video so that you can catch the wave of a bigger story in Pisces than just a simple new moon. So before we get going, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. This is not sidereal astrology. In the land of YouTube, we pretend that we're using whole sign houses to make delineations, but it is the ancient tradition. I get so many emails and questions about the house system. Go into my description box below, scroll down, find my free video tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, and you'll never look back. So we're going to move ahead right now and talk about each separate sign. Now, I do world astrology, and often I put out separate videos that really, truly just focus on world astrology. So if that's something that you want to really pay attention to, and you're really down to see what's going on in the world, for example, predictions I made for a lot of stuff have come true, including the Mars-Uranus square, which led to a Middle East problem with Iran and the United States. All of that is in my world astrology, or you find it at Substack where I write about it as well weekly, and it's free. That's my column. All the stuff, my Patreon community, everything is below. Okay. Check out how astrology works, by the way. It's about a divine timing tool. And it literally is how you can use a map of time. So if you want the map of time for your sign in 2026, I've done a 2-hour video for your sign. It's more than 2 hours long. Plus, I wrote a PDF guidebook for the whole year for all signs. And that is information is available down below in my description box. and it's on sale. All right. Did I say my name? Lori Lothian. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing what is my beach cover up summer dress. So suddenly we're having a heat wave in Vancouver, Canada. It is warmer than it should be on March the 2nd, the day I'm recording. So I will give you that. I'm not normally wearing a summer dress in this time of year, but today I am definitely there. Let me show you the chart, show you the sky, so we can talk about what's happening. I want to just bring your attention before I show you the sky, like the picture of the sky, that there's a star called Azelpha Phage, Azelpha Phage. And Azelpha Phage is in the constellation of the swan, Cygnus the swan in the heavens, and it has to do with the tail of the swan. And the software delineation is quite positive. It says it's a very creative and dramatic star. They can also offer protection and caring. And it's really good if you want to teach, counsel other people, go on stage, right? So it's got a kind of flamboyant, creative, stage-like presence to it, but it also is good for counseling and caring and teaching professions. So because it's a new moon in Pisces, if that's anything to do with your world, that will be a really good star that's backing up this new moon. And the Sabian symbol as well is at 28 degrees of Pisces. We round up to 29, and the key word is a prism. Now, there's very many books that talk about the meaning of a prism. For example, one of my Sabian symbol books says it's the delicate interplay between the parts and the whole of a thing, and it alludes to the fact that changing or altering a part can affect the whole. Now, I have another thing I'd like to say about a prism. A prism is basically what happens to a rainbow when white light fractures into this visible spectrum from red to violet. Humanity is a prismatic expression of the one divine light. And so is the world, and so are the animals. We are all prismatic, refractory elements of one thing, one light. And so I think there's something very enchanting and very magical because it does evoke the rainbow archetype. It does evoke we are one, even though we come from the one light, but we express in different hues and colors and flavors of the light, which then leads me to telling you one more thing. How should you listen? Sun, moon, or rising? What's the difference? Well, your sun is the one light. It is a part of you that is made of white light, or is eternal, or is never unborn, unchanging, forever will be, communicating and connecting to its source energy. And because the sun aspect of you, your sun sign, has a flavor like air, earth, water, and fire, right? And a zodiac sign 1 of 12, you can see what the concept is you're a particular hue or flavor of the divine at your soul energy. When you're listening for your sun sign, you're listening for matters that will connect you more deeply to career and purpose, and quite possibly take you back to times in your life that go back to the first 7 years you were activating your solar energy. And then you may also notice that your solar energy is really highly activated after the age of 45. And I'll explain that in a course one day. The sun has to play a role in the life. Sun is the game player, the game playing simulation that we're in, the game itself, the video game would be your rising sign. That's the character in the simulation. That's the avatar. So the sun is you, the true essential nature, playing a simulation character, your rising sign. So if you're listening for your rising sign today, it's usually very accurate. So is your sun sign. Depends on where you are in your life. Your moon sign is how you feel and think about your life. It's the mind of you and your thinking, feeling complex, but it's also connected to your home nest and where you live. And as I always say, an eclipse to your moon can often eclipse your home. So it's very, very simple that way. Now I'm going to share the chart. So this is the sky, happens to be set for a Libra rising, of no consequence, just where the sky was. I've taken out extraneous planets. We don't need to pay attention to the fact we have several planets in Aries right now, right? We have Neptune, Saturn, Venus, and Chiron. No big deal. Pluto here in Aquarius. These are flanking the new moon. So these houses are called aversions, and they're not particularly consequential to the lunation. The moon itself at 28 degrees is going to, of course, be right here. And it's going to happen on March the 18th. Roughly around my time zone, in Northern Ontario, Canada, at 9:40 Eastern time in Canada. Now, one thing to note about this is that we see right away that Jupiter has moved direct as of March the 11th at 15 degrees of Cancer and is in a whole sign flow to the Pisces sky. So there's a lot of love from Lord Jupiter toward the place where the moon is occurring. And there's also the quality of Jupiter flowing to Mars. Not quite exact yet. A couple of days after the moon, you'll start to see a very beautiful flow between Jupiter and Mars, indicating positive new directions and things that we choose and decide, and good action or fortunate action as well. But we'll leave that for the week ahead video. Instead, I'd like to focus on the fact that we do have this energy as well of the North Node, amplifying the intensity with the quality of destiny or fate to what Jupiter is doing as he loves up this Pisces sky, and this moon plants a new seed. Today's video for your sign, what we're focusing on as we spin the wheel and go around the wheel, is we're focusing primarily on this miniature triangle. So what is this? Uranus, surprise, unexpected developments, lightning strikes of unexpected qualities, sometimes just surprise, something that you don't see coming. And then we also look at the Juno asteroid that's trining Uranus, committed marital relationship situations, or where there is a commitment, a vow, or a contract for something. And so we can say business vows and contracts. We can say long-term love, vows and contracts. Whether you're legally married or not is irrelevant. And in that regard, Juno in the sign of Cancer, in the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn, moved into this part of your sky, all of our sky, around December the 29th, and will leave on March the 29th. That's a 3-month stay of an asteroid that takes 4.5 years to circle the heavens. And so there's something going on as a backstory for all of us that began at the very end of December and will finish at the end of March, to do with what we want to commit ourselves to, or where commitment wants to happen. And what's fun about that is, of course, this has also been attended to with Jupiter across the way. And this is the husband and wife, king and queen of Mount Olympus. So there's been this intensity around what we want to commit to when it comes to power coupling, lasting power couples in business and love, agreements, including peace treaties, by the way, which have been hard to come by because there's so much tension between the king of Mount Olympus and his wife, Hera/Juno, Zeus/Jupiter. But this is a beautiful flow between Juno and the new beginning and fresh start new moon. So we see new beginnings that can form in our lives connected to where we need to commit to something or someone, and where we can expect some surges of unexpected and positive directions and surprises. You know, Algol is here, a well star and a decapitation star, which is why so many world events have involved decapitations. That can include being unalived for political reasons or war reasons. And we've seen a ton of the decapitating going on. In fact, Uranus was on the decapitation star with Mars when in 2024, July, Donald Trump's ear got clipped by something, apparently. So we can say decapitation is still here. That's true, but it's also now a Uranus moving direct, a Uranus moving in the tail end of Taurus. It's still Algol is a wealth star for magical wealth spells. So we could also involve some money archetypes as well as decapitation or radical, sudden beheading of our goals and objectives, perhaps. Partly, I wonder to myself aloud what kinds of people, places, and things might get involved in this kind of a story. New moon, new beginning will activate a lot of Piscean people, famous Piscean people, and very famous Piscean countries. But in today's video, I want to keep this to be about you. And I might start a new format where I will do simply world astrology drops on a regular day during the week for like the weeks ahead or something like that. Often on the Monday drop, which is a week ahead astrology, I will usually talk more about the world astrology as well. So let's get going. Let's do your sign. We will start today with Pisces. I know Pisces, you get ripped off every time because you're always last and you're never least, and you're always best and you're always best. Now, I am recording on Monday, March the 2nd. And as you know, we're experiencing a Middle Eastern war, which is basically not a U.S. war, but it's a war on behalf of another country. I'm finding the energy today very heavy. And also, I've had a bad sleep last 2 nights, and I only get bad sleeps when there's something heavy coming down the world pipeline, whether it's political, geopolitical, or weather related. I tend to worry still about major earthquake action on the California, Oregon coast of North America, although I do think, of course, the area in the Japan, Malaysia area, et cetera, could still be at risk. I don't really have the biggest feeling about that. I still worry about North America. So I am recording March the 2nd. You're going to get this video way later. We'll know if any of my concerns bore out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about Pisces. Let's move ourselves ahead by hours. We're going to have to go backwards to keep the moon here. But trust me, the moon is at 28 degrees. So let's get going. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. And I will say that this is a fresh start and a new beginning. And over the course of the first 2 to 3 weeks after, you should see evidence for that there's something new that wants to start in your life. Jupiter is the ruler of this moon, and he's in the house of children and romantic love. A new lease on romance, a new lease in relationships to your children, but also your children could be getting pregnant or having children. That's because of Mars's rulership of the grandchildren house. So there may be news of a child, having a child coming off this moon. We'll look closer perhaps until around the 20th of March and afterwards when we get a direct motion messenger in your first house. Any of you Pisces want to do creative, artistic, and entrepreneurial things and do it with luck, prosperity, and forward momentum? And then look no further than a new beginning and a fresh start in this part of the sky. For fifth house can be your entrepreneurial, creative, and artistic endeavors. You'll notice as well that because Jupiter is flowing to the moon by whole sign and rules your 10th house, there can be an up level in your career space as well, coming off this lunation. And if you're thinking at all of changing a home, a new moon in your first house with Mercury there, ruler of the fourth, can indicate a change of home over the course of up to 6 months after the new moon. Every new and full moon has a 6-month fulfillment phase. Don't think it's going to happen all in one day. It never is, and it never does. The little mini grand trine that we're seeing here can open up some kind of really positive surprises connected to a sibling one older, a sibling one younger, siblings in general. It can open up some kind of opportunity to make a commitment to a new job, because the 11th house is the career gains, to a friend, to an ally, and an unexpected travel opportunity that requires a commitment may emerge here as well. I think a lot of you are going to see this more likely as a new level of up leveling into some kind of career collaboration, career agreement, career partnership, or job offer, or any of those things. And the sun does rule your work house as it sits with the new moon. So Jupiter and the sun can bring you a job opportunity or career up level or advancement. And I like Uranus in the third house. It's a social media house. And so if you do any social media stuff, this could mean something could go viral because you collaborated or partnered up with someone else. And that can be a friend, an ally, a benefactor, or a sibling one older than you. All of those stories are true. And a new moon in your first house always asks you whether you want to be in a new long-term love relationship or if you want to change up the current one and maybe end it. Juno would say if you're going to start a new relationship, Pisces, is coming through your friendship circles and your social networks, and you may meet someone in that community and begin a new relationship through that story. And maybe look for evidence of that in the 2 to 3 weeks that follows the moon, but certainly it can unfold over 6 months as well. And let's talk about you guys. You are Aries, sun, moon, and rising. I have the same placement, sun and moon. I get you guys. We are looking at a very profound spiritual placement here. We get new moons here on the yearly, and it's in this 12th house, of course, of our spiritual life, our, ashrams, gurus, contemplation, enlightenment stuff. Mercury's with the moon, dreams, visions from your dreams at night. This is also a positive new beginning and fresh start for new ways to make money because you work for a foreign company, you work in a foreign country, you have payment processing, international, digital, borderless revenue, all of that kind of thing, and a new fresh start here in some way. And one thing about it, the North Node amplitude, volume up everything about what I just said in a way that involves the word destiny. What is the fate? What is the destiny about this story? Partly want to perhaps remind you that the day before the moon, Mars rose in your 12th house. Please go watch the video because there's a deep 2-year story, 26-month story that's unfolding the day before the moon. And it blends two things together. Jupiter loving it up a whole sign trine from the fourth house brings very beautiful opportunities for expanding your home, especially getting a pet, having a rental opportunity that's going to expand your space in your home, give you more room in the home or luxury in the home and enjoyment in the home. And so even though the moon is in the 12th house, it wakes up Jupiter in the fourth, it wakes up Mercury, the ruler of the south node in the rental houses. So you're looking at a lot of collateral shift, and it could look like shift towards in the weeks up to 6 months that follows a relocation of home. I always find that the moons do unfold within 2 to 3 weeks, evidence for what it's about. But up to 3 months later, you're still seeing more and more details emerge, right? It's not like a one and done. And this mini grand trine is interesting. Juno is in the house of weddings and she's a marriage goddess. And we have Uranus in the house of speech. And it's possible there could be something going on here with a relationship, that you may have a sudden change of stature in a relationship. This could look like a sudden shocking development, like a proposal or something like that, or you propose to someone to get married. But if it's not that, I do think that you could be in business partnership or collaboration with somebody. Juno up here is to partner in the career space, like, Sonny and Cher or Bill and Hillary, that kind of vibe. So you might really collaborate with another person, and maybe in a very visible way. It can be a very good energy for that. And Uranus can bring unexpected, surprising increases of wealth through collaborative endeavors. Now, it doesn't have to just be one person. It can be the archetype of collaboration. A lot of you have been giving me great feedback, by the way. Thank you so very much about the collaborations I've been doing with mundane astrologer Donnie Lim. He seems to be very popular with you guys, and I appreciate that. And I'll be doing more as we go forward. He's a regular feature on my channel at this point for world astrology. So I would like you to consider the possibility that you could be doing in your own work ways of partnering and collaborating with others rather than holding the load all by yourself. That would be a very auspicious direction to go. And with Mars rising in the 12th house the day before this moon, and, kind of opening up a celestial corridor, so to speak, to chunky money, this moon can wealth you up as well. But again, career collaborations, earnings, and job situations are all interconnected with how this could happen. And it's especially true for anyone who makes money internationally or borderless income and revenue, which is true of a lot of people who nomadic life, digital nomad, making money online like I do. Okay. So what this girl's going to do is stand, but you won't even know because I cannot sit for hours at a time. So you're going to see me standing here, and who cares? Let's move on to the next sign. I'm moving to my new 2-bedroom place. I signed a lease during Mercury retrograde. I'll let you know how that goes. But I'd seen the place during a Mercury retrograde in November, so it's okay. But I will have a dedicated office with a super comfy chair to record for you guys. All right. Now, on March the 18th, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, we have a lunation occurring in your 11th house of good spirit. This is a very positive house. This is a very fortunate place in the sky, one of the lucky houses, and it brings in good fortune. It brings in windfalls or pennies from heaven, as the cliches go. It brings in a sense of gratitude, attitude, and karmic rewards descending upon you. So good things first, right? That's positive. Mercury conjunct the North Node amplifies the intensity of this and opens up a channel of some destined good fortune that this moon would like to procure for you. And with Mars rising the day before the moon, go watch that video, Mars rising in your sign, for a 26-month forecast. You also notice that Mars is visible. So changes could happen off of this moon connected to the 11th house stories. What are 11th house stories? Well, you might want to change the way you make money, your gains in your career, change your situation about the way the career success is transpiring for you. You could also make some significant changes in your friendship circles in a positive way. So certain friends come, certain friends go. We know life is like that, right? Make new friends, keep the old, and all of that stuff. But there could be some positive directional changes and new social groups forming in your life, major destined changes that are very important to you in the next months, 6 months that follow the new moon. And certainly evidence of that usually within 3 weeks or so, maximum 4 weeks of the new moon. with Jupiter flowing from the third house, we begin to say something like, well, maybe this is a story. Now my head is cut off. Maybe this is a story for you where you're kind of looking at, oh, yeah, I got this, lucky break, a good luck Santa Claus guy in my third house of travel and siblings. And because the 11th house is the elder sibling one above, and the Jupiter is in the house of all siblings, there could be some very good fortune going on with a sibling in particular. And you might be just allowed to ride the wave of that sibling's good fortune as well. Unexpected positive developments can occur because of Uranus and Juno in your ninth house. And it could be unexpected international partnerships, contracts for book publishing, being accepted into a university or college of your choice, and you're surprised or shocked that you got it. And you might also wonder if you're going to, with that Juno in the ninth house, be able to mediate, sign a deal, or have a contract regarding a legal matter that has a court and judge involved, bringing you into a very windfall vibe. So if there's any court situation that involves legal outcomes and judges and money, you might feel like the windfall is upon you, especially with Algol in your sign. A wealth star is sitting there. Don't forget, Juno's been in your ninth house now, oh my gosh, ever since the end of March. And the end of December, and by the end of the March, she'll leave. And so that's where you could partner with international entities, where you could get great collaborative deals going with people in book publishing industry or anybody in the legal field as well, and benefiting you greatly on this story that I'm seeing right here. Mercury rules the house of good fortune, where we would buy a lottery ticket, go to the casino, do a horse race or betting or something, betting and speculation. And that could indicate that this is one of the rare signs. I included this in my Mars rising probably, that could be coming into really literally winning money. Not just it feels like a windfall, but you actually win some money. So if that's appealing to you, I would say around the new moon, it would be okay to buy a simple lottery ticket. Don't overdo it. I think people often don't understand it only takes one ticket to win. You do not need to go hog wild. Hog wild. You don't need to go hog wild. It just takes one ticket to win. If it's destined to be your ticket, then it's going to just take one ticket to win. So when people go out and buy 100 tickets, I always wonder what they're thinking. Like, why would you do that? Why would you buy 100 tickets? Seriously, because ultimately you only need one ticket to win. I don't even know where I can possibly sit where I'm not going to be hot but also comfortable. All right, let's put you guys here on a pillow and hope I don't knock this thing over. All right. And this is why I'm moving. Comfort first. That's what I have for you. And don't forget, new moons, new beginnings, fresh starts. We have a prism here. We have a way to reach into a deeper spiritual kind of way of being. And I will say, if one thing I like about the 11th house, it's where fairy godfather archetypes come from, and your wishes and dreams can be fulfilled here. So why not dream big, dream true, dream, what you want in life, and allow for that to potentially manifest off of this kind of a sky. So I'm going to say long-range goals and plans and dreams and wishes belong to the 11th house. Plant a seed on this moon and make a wish and see if you can't get an activation of something you truly desire. I should also mention Juno in the ninth house. If you were to get married, and you could, Mars rules your marriage house, sextiles Juno more or less, then you're going to do that because you're going to do a traditional wedding. And in one of, if you're Jewish, and in a Jewish wedding, if you're Hindu wedding, if you're Christian, a Christian wedding, like you're going to find a wedding in alignment with the actual religious tradition that you or your spouse will come from. Just keep that in mind as well, because that's the vibe I'm seeing here as well. I'm going to get a kombucha and I'll be right back. And thank you for liking and subscribing and hyping and hitting the notification bell. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. In your sky, you literally want to talk about career and new beginnings. And my progressed Gemini sun realizes she's burning out. She's got an octopus going on here. Substack, Patreon, members only here, YouTube videos, teaching classes, even still seeing some trailing clients. And this octopus is exhausted. So I will say that for a lot of Geminis, there's going to be a need for a fresh start, defined not by what you add, but by what you eliminate. And that's because of Mars's position, invisible the day before the moon. A lot of you will be paring away, cutting away, or defining your career in a new way, as this new moon is a new seed. Some of you might be also quitting your job or getting fired or whatever, but you're also changing, right? Changing of your career is what that can be. And the energy of this new beginning, fresh start, new moon in your 10th house is also reflecting a positive directional shift in money. Jupiter is direct. Jupiter is visible. Jupiter is in your second house. So more money is coming, not by what you're adding to your career or workspace, but what you're eliminating. Mars is the employee-employer job situation. You may be making major changes there as well. Changes don't mean elimination. Maybe you might be changing if you're self-employed, your contractors, employment structures for those people who work for you. You might also be making some major changes in your own responsibilities within a place of work so that it's not as difficult as it is at this time. The North Node wants to bring worldly success. Jupiter wants to bring money. The new moon wants to bring it all. So it's a very positive new moon. Very, very positive. The new moon is also going to be activating a miniature grand trine that's very fortunate, where we see Juno in the 8th house of chunky money flowing to wealth star placement Uranus in the 12th house. Now, I can't tell you how, what, why, and where, but there is a potential sense of a chunk of money that may occur or happen here, especially with Mars ruling your house of windfalls. You could come into some money, in quotes. It could even come from winning something. And so whatever this is, this moon can also give you a surge of financial wellness that feels like a financial win in some way. Juno can be business partnerships, okay, in the 8th house in particular, that are also going to bring you some surges of money if you make international revenue, work for a foreign company, or live in a country and work in a country other than the one you are born in. And there can be a nice little surge of financial well-being here. With Mercury ruling the 4th house, family money from mom and dad or legacy wealth can be a part of this story, but it's not the most obvious. It could be that, but it looks more like other forms of money surging your way is more likely the story. Look for a moon like this to show you what it's about more clearly. Usually when in this kind of sky that I'm showing you, we get Mercury on March the 20th in direct motion. So not right away, right? You're going to maybe have to wait a bit to see what the news story tells you, probably. But it looks to me like it's good for your chunky money, which means you're not earning the money on a salary or paycheck. It could be a commission, sign-on bonus, severance package, tax rebate, but this is also connected to the workhouse. Money coming in unexpected ways, and business partnerships being very lucrative here. So any contractual agreements regarding a business partnership deal connected to employment, employers, work, and money making will operate as a financial increase resource for you under this kind of a sky. I do have to say that it looks good for your money. And the moon is in mutual reception to Jupiter, so, which I didn't even say in the intro. So we love this vibe a lot. I'll probably have to add that to the intro. Doing Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. If you notice a little bit of a difference of where I'm sitting and all of that, it's because I'm now recording on March the 7th. I completely somehow skipped over Cancer. I apologize. You guys do matter. You are not unimportant to me. So we're wedging you guys into this video. So let's get that insert going for you today. You're a Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. And you'll notice this. You're going to take a look and see that you have a Jupiter moving through your sign, giving you that great exaltation energy, now direct since March the 11th, and that our new moon, which is happening on March the 18th, on that Sabian symbol of the prism, is right up there with Atlantis and a very visible Mars in your 9th house of God. You know, there's just something right away that says purpose, something that leans you right into what is the meaning of my life? Why am I here? What could I be doing? That has a significance because there is purpose in life. There is meaning. This is your Dharma house. What I love about the question mark is what is my purpose is Jupiter is the truth, knowledge, the wisdom. He shows you the way. He's the guru and the dispeller of darkness. On the Sabian symbol of light itself, prism, with a flow from Lord Jupiter, the one who does dispel darkness so that light can shine, you are literally opening up portals of some kind of mystical or spiritual or awareness level that may not be your normative. I love, love, love the commitment story because this is the commitment goddess marriage, goddess Juno in your marriage house. Now, business partners, clients, customers, and marriage partners belong here. Your public and audience, if you have one, and you want that commitment level. Sometimes she's practical and she says this moon could bring you a contractual agreement connected to publishing, because that's the ninth house, book publishing, or legal settlements, and maybe winning. Mars is the lawyer fighting. Juno is the final settlement. And we have some support from luscious, lucky Jupiter. So you definitely could be winning in a court battle or legal case, or even in matters to do with travel, visas, and passports. With the Uranian surprise in that miniature grand trine, there's something unexpected. It's like a windfall or a penny from heaven. And it's so lucky because Mars rules your good fortune house and he's in the lucky ninth house. Uranus is on a wealth star. I'm going to say you're going to have an unexpected ability coming off of this moon to surprise yourself in the 2 to 3 weeks after March the 18th with this idea of a surge of more money in your life that you're going to be very grateful for. That money can connect to allies and benefactors and people who wish to support you. It can connect to greater career gains. That surge of new prosperity may also connect to a sibling one older. And funny, my sister Nancy, Cancer rising, who's one of my staff members, employees, contractors, is going to double her workload for me to take on new jobs. And because I'm burning out, and that's going to help her have a surge of money. So I can see why the sky looks this way. I love this idea that if you were a single Cancer looking for love, that having Juno, the marriage goddess here with Jupiter, the husband of Juno, you might be looking at a surge of new love if you are thinking of love connected to distant shores, foreign lands, far off places from the place of your birth. So it could even be you live in your home country, but somebody from another country or another ethnicity or language or religious background is coming your way over the next, 2 to 3 weeks after the moon, but maybe even 6 months. And because Mars rules your sex and love and romance house, it could be quite sizzling, but also very mystical and spiritual. You'd be looking for that level of love that is going to not only just turn you on and turn you up, but also get into that ninth house vibe, which is we have shared values around ideology, spiritual ideology, faith, religion. Or in Pisces, that I'm spiritual but not religious. You're not going to get involved with a partner who doesn't share some of that with you. Okay, if you're single looking for love, that could be it. And funny enough, with Venus in Aries right now, it could also be a story where you're looking for a love partner connected to your work routines and work habits and job stuff as well. But we get that foreign element in here as well. The last thing I want to mention about the sky is I do feel that using this as a kind of a energizer for your creativity, your muse, your spiritual inspiration, your enthusiasm for life. When we say, I feel so inspired, we mean inspirited, right? Inspired has to do with the word of the spirit is within you and it's alive. And it's a little bit of a Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss, that might try to push through this moon as well. So there's something about your unique talents and gifts that you were born to play and to follow that's the fifth house, Mars rules it, and to follow your bliss in some area of your life, to follow something that you truly, truly do well in your zone of genius, not just your zone of excellence, and to allow that to flourish. If any of you tend towards writing and publishing, then this is an ideal moon to jumpstart all kinds of success in that area. Look for the opportunity to sign contracts or agreements, Juno in the seventh house, that you need to bind yourself to. But again, it could have to do with the word international, foreign lands, foreign companies, publishing, book publishing, court case settlements and wins, matters connected to a sibling, 1 older and 2 older and 3 older, okay, or 3 younger, 4 younger, 6 younger. These are the sibling chart is very awake in this particular sky. All said and done, with Jupiter direct in your sign till June the 30th, you are so damn lucky. Roll on with that luck. The luck will serve you. You've got luck coming out of your, horseshoes coming out of your butt. You know what I mean? So this is a lucky week. Of course, Jupiter's direct. Jupiter is flowing to the Mars Atlantis and even to the lunation. And a Vestal flame of devotion is up there. So you're really excited by a sacred calling of some kind. Feels very purpose oriented. Look for the smallest clues. Don't think it has to be you're going to save the world. What if your purpose was something small, sweet, wonderful, and magical? All right, there you go. Hello, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So we can speculate here that with a new beginning in the 8th house of chunky money, that your money is going to increase somehow, some way. New beginnings and money that you can have through royalty income, passive income, investment income, money with your spouse, inheritance money, refinancing mortgages and loans and banking money. But it's a new beginning and a fresh start with a north node of increase, and it's flowing to lucky Jupiter. So Jupiter in the 12th house can indicate also more money accrued from digital income, borderless revenue, foreign people in foreign lands, or someone who's like a Santa Claus of money in a distant shore from you. Mercury also can indicate more money coming from a sibling, one older, that benefits you greatly. And Mercury also could be speaking to contracts, agreements, negotiations, and deals that you want to finalize in the 2 to 3 weeks after this new moon or new beginning. With Juno, the goddess of contractual agreements in the house of employment, there may be some surges of new money coming from new employment agreements and contracts. So, for example, my sister is got her son in Leo, and I'm going to get her to do almost everything in my business for me, like Girl Friday plus. So she's going to up level in her work for me, and she'll have a new contract, and that will make her more money. So you get what I'm saying. So there's exactly that kind of story. I'm going to offload a lot of stuff I still do that anyone else could probably do, including checking customer service emails, for gosh sakes. Unexpected surges of success and wealth connected to career and contracts, agreements, employment and employee structures. So for a very few of you, an opportunity to lease a home, to rent out your home, or to lease a new home may emerge off of this. Thank you to Mars and to Juno in this condition. And I love that part of it for you, because if you're looking for a rental agreement, you're going to find the best possible outcome coming off of this Juno story. And it could be you're the landlord or the tenant. It doesn't matter. If you're into spiritual awakening, of course, Jupiter is like the guru in the ashram vibe. And this is a really good placement for any Leos working on a spiritual enlightenment path. And the new moon, new beginning could be the beginning of a new way of seeing yourself and the world as you become more peaceful, more harmonious, more equanimous, more, able to see the world through a more let go, let God framework, perhaps. But there's something that could really open up spirituality for you, especially psychic abilities, paranormal, occult stuff, talking to dead people. So if you're a Leo and you want to explore that, a new moon, new beginning can allow for a deeper exploration of some of this stuff, taking you perhaps even in a new professional direction. Hey, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Sky tells me that your marriage life is intense right now because of the stellium of Pisces in your long-term committed love house. Business partnerships can be here, as well as how you approach your audience and marketplace and clients. Now, if you do client work, customer work, you're public facing, like with, those types, it just looks very busy, right? But it is your marriage house. And we could just say long-term monogamous, committed, or live in love, and a lot of focus on your significant other who seems to be having a lot going on. If I look at Mars and I think what Mars could offer you here, Mars could tell you that it might be time for a separation from the one you're with, but Jupiter flows to this Mars new moon beginning, fresh start. And therefore, I don't think that's it. I think it's more like you want to find a new way, maybe a way to be together in a relationship with someone that has a Martian impulse, which could be like a partition between the two of you. Like it could be, like we need more room in the home together. We need more space. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be one specific thing, but it could definitely look like some changes that I just described to you. And the other thing about this, I need to find a place that I just get comfortable, and I have no idea where that's going to be, but I don't want to stop the recording because it's a biatch if I stop my recording. All right. So then I would also say to you guys, watch out for the potential here for some conflict off of this new moon in the short term with your significant other. And that kind of conflict with a significant other doesn't have to last forever. Welcome to my bedroom. It doesn't have to last forever, but you might find yourself in that conflict with a significant other flaring up on the moon on March the 18th or so. So be careful, because Mars's proximity to the moon can mean an argument or difficulty with a significant partner. Jupiter will smooth it over. It's almost like also some people you have in your shared social groups and friendship networks can really help you here. You can really like lean on the friends to give you some sort of help and guidance. And if you want to know that I've never been this restless before in a video, if you're new here, this is not normal. I just can't find a place to put you guys, like literally. Because we have Juno in the house of contracts connected to work, and Juno is also in the house of contracts that could connect you to your not just your work, but your rental and lease situations. There can be some contractual agreements regarding rental and leases that are going to come to your attention. Oh, sorry, I do apologize. That's because I'm spinning my laptop as I'm recording. My mistake. Contractual agreements and vows in your romantic life could look like an up level in the 3 to 4 weeks or 6 months after this moon into a wedding proposal that shocks or surprises you. Maybe you didn't see it coming, but Juno likes to commit. She's in the romance house. She's long-suffering wife of Jupiter, and Capricorn is about stability and long-term connection. And so there definitely could be some way that you guys are going to connect to each other in a deeper way. And so I'm going to go with Mercury here at wedding proposals, move in together, engagement proposals, or agreements. Some of you might want to make a contract or an agreement regarding a very important opportunity for you as a couple, connected to travel or even locations abroad, even maybe a move. A new beginning, by the way, in the 7th house may all be about your partner and absolutely nothing to do with you. And they may have a fresh start, a new beginning connected to a desire for them to travel or to move or change their neighborhood. And that's another way that this can play out in the sky. So there you go. All right, let's keep going and talk about the next story. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have this story which opens up a brand new beginning and a fresh start and a new moon in your 6th house. Your 6th house is a house of your work, your employment, your employee structures, your pets, maybe even debts you owe, and also matters connected to your health. So if you have any problems with your health, you have a new beginning, especially watch for your feet, fresh starts. Mars here would be surgical procedures like bunions or whatever else might be wrong with your feet if you have a problem. Also, Mars can say he's in his joy. You want to activate work with passion and drive, ambition and joy. These are ways you want to feel when you're working. North Node is the worldly success. So a new beginning is starting here. And if you're a performer or artist or teacher or counselor, the star there also opens up great success, because Jupiter in your 10th house is amazing. He's like direct, he's visible, and he's looking back. He went direct on the 11th. Go watch my video about that. He's looking back at the 6th house and he says, let's go for it. In the next few weeks through to June 30th, this new moon could be a part of a fresh start and a new escalation of success and new heights of success connected to work, employment, or you could be higher up. You could be put in position over many more people and being leveled up to a new position of responsibility. Juno in the 4th house is contractual agreements connected to property, land, or relationship. It is a Juno that is flowing beautifully to the new moon, but also to Uranus. Possibly, but not necessarily. This could be an unexpected surge of financial chunks of money that could come to you. It may come through agreements that you've made with mom or dad or family of origin members connected to money, trust funds and things like that. If you want to rent your home out and lease your property and like go travel or move, this is an ideal story for that. And you might also get a bit of money, like surging up unexpectedly, a chunk of surging money for you connected to your career, to work, or to agreements and contracts you're making in and from your home. If you go back to December 29th, and will last till end of March, you've got Juno here. And so some of you have been busy signing contracts or agreements regarding loans, banks, finance, property, sale and purchase, matters connected to rental properties. So those are things that are like getting a last leg on life with this new beginning, new moon. Some of you may definitely be looking at new jobs, new opportunities, and new employment structures coming through the sky that lead to a better income than you normally get. Mars would like to level up your earnings in this kind of story. He rules your earnings house. As he flows to Jupiter, he'd like to translate that to more money. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. It looks to me like you're going to do some kind of fresh start, new beginning in the house of children. Now, this can be literal. It could mean in the 6 months post the March 18th moon, you will have a child. My Scorpio rising sun is planning to have a child. It can also mean some major changes going on in fifth house matters, particularly if you're creative, artistic. Those creative artistic projects will engender a huge amount of change. Mars is the ruler, by the way, of you. So Mars is bringing you the kind of change you need in entrepreneurial, artistic, and creative endeavors that are best for you. He is rising in your fifth house, and he'll be implementing a new version of where you think your choices and decisions and your passion should go. And you could be coming into a window of time just jump started by this moon of an incredible passion project around art, creativity, or entrepreneurial ideas. Mars here could also indicate new romance that would like to come into your life if you are a single Scorpio coming off this new moon. I'd probably give it, though, a little bit more time. Venus is in a dating house right now, ruling your fifth house, seventh house of commitment. Mars just means passion and frolicking good sex. So possibly you're going to come into a romantic dating situation for single Scorpios boosted off this moon. Certainly that's true. You'll see evidence for that within the first 2 to 3 weeks after the moon. Your children can move. Like if you have children living at home, they might move out. And with that flow from Jupiter in the ninth house is kind of like lots of luck here and lots of excitement regarding grandchildren. So if you're old enough to have grandchildren, that might be what this story is seeding in the house of your children. Also, good opportunities for your children connected to distant shores, far off lands, foreign places, academic settings as well. Not a bad moon for a bit of luck that could come through your sky like a windfall. So it's this one of the signs that could win money is you guys. So you could play a ticket or whatever and see if you win. Juno and Uranus, they are in a trine and activating a miniature trine to the lunation. What kind of unexpected surprise could happen that revolves around an agreement or a contract or a vow connected to short distance travel, local environment activities, matters connected to learning, and maybe even online marketing and selling. If you're an online entrepreneur, you could get a contract to reach a greater audience from your entrepreneurial business endeavors or your artistic and creative endeavors off of this new moon. And you might make agreements with siblings in general, and siblings can be very much a focal point of coming to certain agreements with siblings, particularly a sibling one younger, and in the sky, even a sibling one older, and contractual agreements or significant stated collaborations with those siblings that lead to very positive outcomes here as well. That's what I got for you, Scorpios, off this new moon. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. We have a brand new moon, and the new moon is telling me that I can't see in the light, blinded by the light, you are going to find a potentially new home from a new moon like this. Not normally, new moons happen here every year. Mars likes to change, cut, end, and sever. And we have a wasp in my house. How nice. And for you to change your home, move your home, would not be surprising under this kind of new moon. Mars will be rising visibly the day before the new moon, and in the 26 months that follows, he could suggest a new home. But now we also can say a new home as well, just because the moon is new and setting a new seed here. Finally, because the moon is flowing to Jupiter, a new home can come through inheritance money, or inheritance money can lead to a new home. And so you may come into in the 6 months that follows the moon in inheritance, and you might have evidence for the inheritance money coming your way, perhaps within a month of the lunation as well. Now, the new moon in the bottom of your sky in Pisces is also activating the potential for property, land, and real estate rental properties, financing and refinancing. Uranus indicates a surprising opportunity to sign a deal or a contract to possess a new car, a new home, a new something. But because of Uranus in the sixth house, it could also be a job contract. Mercury, it's with the moon, rules your 10th house. Juno is in the work and money earnings second house, and Uranus is in the work and employment house. Therefore, you may have a sudden opportunity to sign a work contract for a new position, a new job, or a new professional advancement. If money isn't a thing for you in that regard, then you may also be able to possess a new pet for your home in a sudden, surprising way. But again, a lot of you might be moving your home over the course of the months that follows this new moon. It's such a profoundly rare combination of a north node. We have an eclipse there in September. Is to change, advance, and move your home. And even to a foreign place from where you currently live. That's the North Node. Mars is change and move and cut and sever your home. And a new beginning for the new moon, but surprising developments. You don't maybe expect it. The reason for the move is maybe unexpected. Hey, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. It looks like a new moon is here that is going to open up something for you connected to your travel opportunities and locations of your home to a new city, town, or neighborhood from where you are currently living, because Mars likes to do that in the third house. He loves to travel here, but he also likes to say change is afoot. And so that where you live, your community, your city, your local neighborhood stuff likely will change. And this new moon will give you evidence of how and why. So March the 18th, at about a month, you should know where, how, and why, and when you will be moving if you're going to move. Otherwise, you might have an argument or disagreement or a change in a relationship to a sibling. You may have some unexpected prosperity coming from a sibling, three older or three younger. And you might also be looking at a new moon that is seeding some new beginnings connected to teaching, writing, and traveling, communicating, social media, and learning. Now, Jupiter can represent a wealthy, powerful person in the house of romantic love. Long-term committed love. It's possible you may be getting some kind of new relationship with someone who's generous, magnanimous, or wealthy if you're single and looking for a relationship. And if you're not looking for a relationship, then this could also mean that your significant other is going to have an increase of fortune and new beginnings connected to social media, writing, communicating, and teaching and publishing. I like this as well because of Juno. You want to make a commitment. I want you to go back in time and I want you to think about what you've been doing with Juno here. She's in her once every 4.5 year transit through your part of your sky that represents your self, you, Capricorn. Especially for sun and especially for rising. And you might be kind of thinking to yourself, should I or should I not stay? Because I see clients for years when Juno transits their first house. They become consumed with the relationship stuff, whether they're going to commit or not commit, stay or go. And there's for you, it's been 3 months, end of December to end of March. It's all about communion and union with another through the lens of Juno, the one who does commit but becomes the long-suffering wife of Zeus and is always jealous, by the way, of Zeus. So you might be experiencing jealousy or emotional intensity here too. And Juno will leave on March the 29th. But in the meantime, end of December to March the 29th, you might have been really seriously wondering what to do about a significant relationship situation or wanting to be in one if you don't have one. Jupiter is across the way, and this Jupiter-Juno story flows to the new beginning, new moon. So this new moon can help you clarify whether or not a relationship that you're wondering about can come into lasting commitment. Or you might also be thinking about traveling or journeying far afield, and maybe that would allow for a beginning of a new relationship by taking trips, by traveling, by going places, or even moving your neighborhood. And meeting somebody in a local new environment could bring you a new relationship as well, because Uranus is in the house of your children, and there is this kind of new beginning, new moon, and a mutual reception. One of your children is announcing maybe over the next few weeks or months that they're going to have a child. And you might also find yourself falling into a romance that's very committed. Juno, Uranus is like shock, surprise, freedom, breakthrough. So in romance, love, and sexuality. Okay, so there could be a breakthrough in a relationship connected to sexual and romantic expression, and a new beginning and a fresh start as well. And, with Mars being visible the day before this happens, then you'll have some beginning of a new 26-month story in connection with the themes I just outlined, not just a shorter term new beginning, new moon. All right. And finally, let's get the last thing underway. Mercury is the ruler of your 9th house in a writing house. It could be an opening, like a aha, an idea, a creative or artistic idea that allows for you to maybe have like, oh my God, eureka. I just conceived the best book idea ever. My muse is on fire. And you might want to commit to writing that book or doing that creative project or the entrepreneurial business idea that can come to you as a Capricorn in this moon and the 4 weeks after, and even further out the 6 months after. And last but not least, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. We did start with Pisces. What I want to say to you, me too, I'm one of you, is that we are going to notice that we have money going on here. It's all about the money, honey. New moon, new beginning, fresh starts for money. And I like the prism symbol. Maybe we want to prism our money into various places. But it's the money you make, the money you earn, the money you possess. It's your I havingness. You want to have a new beginning and a new start. That's what a new moon does. It is going to be a new moon flowing to Jupiter with the North Node in the same place, makes it more than 100 years old, the Jupiter North Node story. So, and the mutual reception is pretty powerful. So new beginnings, new starts in the second house. Don't worry about the moon being in the wrong place. I had to progress the chart. The moon moves fast. This is happening on the 18th, right? There you go. Makes you happier. And I think you want to make a new beginning in either employment, employee, job, work, career, and professional stature. Everything's there. Mars rules your career and reputation and professional engagement and success. And, Jupiter now direct motion as of March 11th in the house of employees or employment, employee structures, and the daily routines of your job and work. Jupiter's heading direct. He's visible. This is a new beginning and a fresh start. Mars is enacting a 24-month new cycle of how and where and when you make money, the kinds of money you make and how you make it. So there's this big push off this new beginning, fresh start, new moon to initiate you in these directions. That can open up an opportunity to possess a new rental property or to move into a new rental property as well, coming off a new moon on March the 18th. Evidence for that can be clearly seen maybe 2 to 3 weeks after, and it lasts for up to 6 months after as well, which I'll be moving into a new rental property in June. So this moon is already a part of that story. The other part of the sky would say, where have you been wanting to make an agreement, a commitment, or a vow? Usually it's like a marriage vow, but it can also be a business partnership vow with people who live far from you. This is someone who lives far away. It could be a foreign land. It could just be far from where you live, like the other side of a country. But there's a commitment energy back here. You can also make a commitment, by the way, with Juno to a dietary habit change and style, especially regarding addictions, and really stick with it off of this new moon. But if it's a relationship commitment with someone who's geographically separate from you, and we have Uranus with the shock and awe down here, then it might hint at an unexpected, surprising opportunity emerging to unite with somebody by cohabitation. That's what Uranus would be bringing to the table. And so cohabitation, sharing the same space or home, those are themes that may emerge here. You might also want to make a legal agreement or a commitment of some kind regarding land, property, and real estate, and money and earnings, like all of it dovetails together here. Good fortune is activated here, as well as windfalls is activated here from Jupiter and Mercury. So you could also come into what feels like a financial windfall. Now you know where I'm moving. My mic is on the highest possible blocking of sound, but now you're hearing sirens, which are nonstop between the fire hall and the hospital, despite my ocean view. The no AC and the open window noise I'm so glad I'm moving to a new property on June the 1st. That just flowed into place. Bye, fire truck on the street a block from me. All right. And what else can I say? Thanks for liking, subscribing, and watching this video. I was all over the map today because I feel agitated, like the sky is going to fall, like an earthquake's going to happen. So I like this for your money, career, earnings, possessions, job, career, new beginnings, fresh starts, collaterally, new beginnings in the home with whom you live, agreements regarding property, land, and rental properties are all embodied within the new beginning, fresh start, new moon, including dietary changes and styles. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I'm recording, as I said, on March the 2nd. If anything terrible happens, like a earthquake in Oregon or Washington State, or California of any magnitude, you heard it here on March the 2nd. Otherwise, you might just be agitated in general for some reason. I think I'm working a little too hard, as always. Thank you for being a part of my crew. Liking and subscribing helps a lot. Sharing the videos and hyping helps a lot. Thank you so much. Today's outro, I want to talk about the idea that we are getting messages from the universe continuously, and that everything is deeply intertwined and interconnected, and there's nothing that is an accident. Now, we're having a magical new moon coming up in Pisces at 18 degrees, and I'm recording this just the day of the Mercury Cazimi, and I want to share some stories because in my Mercury Cazimi webinar, I'll put the replay below just so you can understand how Cazimis work, even though it's long past. I think that you want to always actively realize that the universe is always talking to you. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes, unless you're paying attention, the universe, signs, synchronicities, and way shower moments are lost in the fray of our own thinking mind, where we're so busy, preoccupied with our thoughts of what we're worried about, what we're anticipating, the dreaded past, blah, blah, blah. And then we've got so much social media, digital distraction. It isn't funny anymore, right? We're constantly checking our messages, and we miss the messages that universe is giving us that are always there, always around us, but they're in a still small voice compared to the noise of our mind and the noise of digital stuff. So I want to share a story or two here to encourage you to do what I say. Follow me. All right. So I'm an Aquarius with Saturn rising, Aquarius rising with Saturn on my ascendant. I can be like the boss, you know what I mean? Like Saturn, like mother knows best. So I'm going to tell you a story or two. So one thing about last night, because this is the day after the Cazimi, I slept 10 hours. I feel refreshed in my autistic burnout. I had a really beautifully pristine, clear dream about autistic burnout. I know that there's such a thing. I literally had a dream. I was standing at a table with an artist who had the symbol of Mercury and Saturn together. And in the vision dream, it was Mercury square Saturn. I'm not born with that at all, by the way, but that could be like communications burnout. At the same time, my laptop, my form of recording and communicating with you guys and anybody, Zoom calls, teaching classes, it was destroyed. I literally had oil on the trackpad and then water on the keyboard, and the whole thing died. And at the little vendor stand with the Saturn Mercury symbol, communications is hard, ideas are hard, commerce and commercial activities are hard, hitting a wall, which I did. I said to him, like, literally, oh, I totally get it. I got that autistic burnout just like you, because in the dream, the artist vendor was literally autistic. It was like autistic mystical creations or something on his table. And yet my laptop crashed and burned as well. And I realized that I crashed and burned. I hit a real wall last week. It was where the simplest tasks can be enormously hard. But the point I want to make is that the dream was giving me a clue as to what was happening. I hadn't acknowledged it to myself that what was happening to me. I just thought I was tired. I just thought that doing simple tasks for some reason was overwhelming. I was having demand avoidance and on steroids. My poor business manager, Christy, and other people around me and my team probably thought I was losing my mind, and I felt like I was. And I feel better today. And the dream helped clarify what was happening. Now, I want to tell you another magical story with Mercury retrograde. So my sister, Cindy, my youngest sister, had a powerful dream about both of our parents who are deceased. And she won't mind me telling this story. She's a Raven's Eye Oracle. She does tarot readings and Lenormand readings, and she's brilliant and accurate. Check the description box for her link. I hope I'll remember to put it in there. She has a new sale that she's putting on, and it's really wonderful to do with the astrological new year and your sign. But anyway, she had this relationship with my dad where he made a comment when she was young and it made her feel like she wasn't worthy of being in a sustainable working girl mode, that she didn't have her boss babe juice, that she could never make it in this world financially. And that really haunted her. And they had a difficult relationship. My mother and her were like thick as thieves. My mother was very close to her. Both my parents died when my sister Cindy was in her 30s and I was in my 30s, 2 years apart. So we all have been adult orphans together. Three sisters. And what happened is amazing because my dad is coming back as my firstborn grandchild because he told me that. He told me that 2 months before my daughter-in-law told me she was pregnant. He said, I'm coming back soon. He came to me in a vision and when I was working at my desk. And I talked to dead people and he said, I'll be back really soon and I'm going to be Adrian's child. That's my child. So Vanessa is my daughter-in-law. I'll be their child. I'm coming back. Like I'm on the way. And my dad also gave me great advice about not burning out in my work. The point I want to make is that my dad is now 5 months in a baby mode in the womb. But when a soul is not fully yet, I think in the last trimester, souls lock and load into the body more so. In the first 6 months, they kind of like in and out, into the body of the fetus that's growing. So my dad has a limited time to get through to my youngest sister that he accidentally harmed so that she can heal this wound and make a living and be really good at it. And she's just been doing readings for the last 2 months and loving it again and just getting in her groove. So anyway, long story short, she had 2 healings in one. My mom came to visit and my dad came to visit her. And my mom came, which is fine. They were always close, but she'd been having some problems with one of her feet, the feminine foot, which is the mother foot. And she got to a podiatrist yesterday, like the day before her dream. And he took off a massive callus and then that healed the mother wound on that foot. And then my dad and her hugged and danced a waltz in the dining room of our family home in the dream. So I just want to say, this is the kind of thing that happens. It really felt she called me to tell me the whole story, what a healing dream it was. And then my ex-boyfriend, James, calls me in the middle of talking to Cindy because he had a dream about me and my sisters. And I'm talking to my sister while he's calling me, which is not a common thing. So I'm just trying to remind you of something. Thomas More says the soul has an absolute unforgiving need for regular excursions into enchantment. It needs it like the body needs food and the mind needs thoughts. When is the last time you've had a regular excursion into enchantment? When is the last time your soul has been fed by the wonder, awe, and delight of paying attention to the smallest synchronicities? Because when we are in a place of complaining about reality constantly in our minds, and I'm guilty of that. This is hard. This is difficult. This shouldn't be the way it is. He shouldn't be that way. She shouldn't be that way. Life shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be hard. Who said it shouldn't be hard? It's probably a prison planet. I'm just trying to tell you that thought pattern obliterates the magic. You can't see the synchronicities. You ignore what is showing up. You don't hear the whispers of the universe saying, we got you. You're okay. Let me show you the synchronicity. And a lot of you know, one of my favorite synchronicities, I'll be typing a word. Let's say the word is respect, and I'll listen to a podcast on the side while I'm working. I do that all the time, multitask. And as I'm typing the word respect, the podcaster says respect instantly. Like my fingers are making the word happen because I'm writing something. And then the podcaster says the word at exactly the same time. And that happens to be all of the time. So this is a story for you to listen to. I'm recording on March the 7th because I had to patch stuff together. I think this is going to be the back end outro for the Pisces New Moon video, which is on the 18th of March, which the video will come out, I believe, much sooner than that, a week before. All right, guys, I feel like I was born again because I was so tired in my last few videos. You'll notice I look tired in my last few videos. Like I got bags under my eyes. You try autistic burnout. Anyone in the comments, autistic, high functioning, high masking type of autism that I have? There's 4 types of genetic autism as the study. And if you are, let me know how you've done. How I know some people say autistic burnout, they can't move for 3 or 4 months. My pattern isn't like that. And no, I'm not manic depressive or bipolar at all. It's just that I get a huge amount of demand avoidance when all of a sudden I've been fine. I've been coasting on multiple octopus fronts. I've been teaching classes and I've been doing Zoom calls and I've been seeing some clients and I've been making videos and I'm writing Substack articles and I'm trying to figure out new financing payment systems for international vendors and I'm doing it all. And all of a sudden I can't do any of it. until flatline. And then usually it lasts about a week for me. Okay. Anyway, let me know. Anyone else have that problem? If you're on autistic spectrum disorder / superpowers, let me know. And also let me know about your regular excursions into enchantment. Do you think they're important? You'll notice I keep moving where I'm recording because I'm moving anyway to a place in 2 months. I'll have an office. You're looking at my fireplace. I just can't find the perfect spot. This is my favorite morning comfort chair that I'm in. I think this might be my new spot until I move to my new place with this dedicated office. All right. Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao. Lunatic astrology.